Hello, my friends. Today, Russian activity along the front line has slightly decreased. Only 58 attacks were recorded in the past day, compared to the previous day's 100. However, the Russians still achieved tactical successes, and overall, the situation becomes more tense with each passing day. And today, open calls for Ukraine's capitulation have begun.
Ma credo che è più forte quello che vede la situazione, pensa al popolo e ha il coraggio della bandiera bianca e negoziare. E oggi si può negoziare con l'aiuto delle potenze internazionali, ci sono. No? Quella parola negoziare è una parola coraggiosa. Quando tu vedi che sei sconfitto, che la cosa non va, avere il coraggio di negoziare. Ti vergogna, ma te su, continui così, quanti morti e poi? E finirà peggio ancora. Negoziare in tempo, cercare qualche paese che faccia da mediatore. Oggi per esempio con la guerra in Ucraina sono tanti che vogliono fare un mediatore, no? La Turchia per esempio, non avere vergogna di negoziare prima che le cose sia peggio.
Overall, due to Russia's significant advantage and insufficient aid, Kyiv is once again leaning towards negotiation. So, what are your thoughts on this matter? Write your opinion in the comments. Now, let's move on to the situation along the front line, starting with the Kupiansk direction. All the battles yesterday in the Sinkivka and Kislivka areas were unsuccessful for the Russians. The front line remains unchanged, and today only shelling continues. In the Svatove area, shelling continues in minimal amounts with any offensive action. Meanwhile, in the direction of Kreminna, the fighting persists in the area near the village of Terny. The occupiers conducted 3 attacks and tactical successes are reported. However, overall, the front line remains unchanged, but the number of shelling incidents has increased today. In the Siversk direction, the occupiers have resumed assaulting the Ukrainian positions in the area of Spirne. 3 attacks have been recorded, and the fighting continues. Over the day, the front line remains unchanged, while the shelling persists at the previous intensity. In the Bakhmut direction, the occupiers launched 5 attacks on Avdiivka, Klishchiivka and Avdiivka. The situation in this direction remains highly challenging, as besides the offensive actions, there is a significant amount of shelling, and the occupiers are determined to reach Chasiv Yar at any cost. So the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to do everything possible to hold the defense and conduct counterattacks when necessary.
In the morning, the Russians, numbering about 10 to 12 people, occupied a couple of houses, or rather what was left of them, in Klishchiivka. Unfortunately, not without losses on our side, but our fighters were able to knock them out and kill most of those who managed to run, the rest fled. The occupiers, in their wet dreams, want to capture Klishchiivka as soon as possible, but only the embrace of death, a very passionate hug, awaits them there.
Over the day, the front line remains unchanged. In the Avdiivka direction, the occupiers conducted 11 attacks. As before, the battles are ongoing for Berdachi, Orlivka and Tonenki. According to the latest information, these settlements have partially fallen under Russian control, and the situation there is extremely difficult. The Ukrainian forces are attempting to regain lost positions, conducting counterattacks, and actively engaging Russian forces with all available weapons. Therefore, we are still awaiting final results. Additionally, the fighting for Pervomaisk continues, while only Shalin is reported in the Nevelsk area today. Over the day, the front line remains unchanged. In the Marinka direction, the occupiers conducted their largest attack with 21 assaults in a day, and the fighting continues. The main attacks are concentrated in the areas of Krasnohorivka, Georgiivka, and Novomikhailivka. Additionally, over 20 settlements were shelled by the occupiers in just one day. So it's reported that airstrikes with guided bombs continue along the entire front line, and unfortunately, the Russians possess a vast number of aircraft, not just hundreds, but several thousand. Therefore, their situation is extremely challenging. However, there are no changes along the front line, and the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to hold their defense. In the Vuhledar direction, shelling continues without any offensive actions, and no changes were recorded over the day. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the occupiers conducted 6 attacks in the Robotyne and Verbove areas. As we already know, tactical successes are present here, but the Ukrainian forces are doing everything possible to maintain their defense, so we await further developments. Shelling also continues along the entire front line. Additionally, construction of defensive lines in the Zaporizhzhia region is ongoing.
Fortifications consist of a large number of components, including an anti-tank ditch and dragon's teeth. Fortifications are being built on the territory of Zaporizhzhia Oblast according to the updated project of the Ministry of Defense. This was announced on March 9 on the air of the national telethon by the head of the Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration Ivan Fedorov. Today, the construction of fortifications is taking place throughout our country. We are building directly on the territory of Zaporizhzhia Oblast together with the military. One part is being built by civilians, the other by military contractors, said the head of the Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration. Fedorov added that the work is taking place according to a typical updated project issued by the Ministry of Defense. https://ntaiker.com.ua/articles/6886748_Ukraina_STRO@_liniju_ova.
Additionally, a photo report of the construction of the defense line in the Dnipropetrovsk region has emerged.
In Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, the active construction of a new line of defense continues. These fortifications include tens of kilometers of anti-tank ditches, dugouts and caponiers. This was announced by the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration Serhiy Lysak. He also published relevant pictures. Strengthening the region's defense capability is one of the priorities of our work. We continue to build a line of defense. Fortifications are an important part of them, Lysak said. He clarified that these will be tens of kilometers of anti-tank ditches, a system of dugouts and caponiers designed to shelter personnel and equipment. Concrete dragon's teeth will also be installed.
In the Kherson direction, the occupiers continue to intensively shell the entire right bank and target the village of Marinka. However, despite the challenging situation, the Ukrainian Armed Forces maintain control over the area. And Russian military correspondents have claimed that the Ukrainian Armed Forces have intensified shelling and there is a possibility of a new operation commencing on the left bank.
According to the information that is now coming to us at the headquarters of the Dnipro Civil Army, the Kokol is strengthening the actions of its artillery and drones. At the same time, the number of enemy boats across the Dnieper River increased. There were more than 100 across the Dnieper. Maybe their operation has begun. But their artillery and drone fire is now merciless. Ours are retreating with losses. For now, we are checking this information.
And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.